Hello, and welcome to St. Leo University. I'm excited to spend some time with you today to talk about our office during your orientation. Uh, I'm going to go ahead and get us started and introduce the office. We are the Office of Student Success and Academic Engagement. And in this picture that I'm sharing with you now, you can see us. We're located in Kirk Hall on the first floor there. Just inside there, you will see all of our offices. My name is Tyler Sanders. I am the Assistant Director of Student Excellence and Development. During my time at St. Leo, I've been in multiple roles within our office. And so I'm excited to share some of the resources that we provide here at St. Leo. All of us are located on the first floor of Kirk Hall, but we all present a few different areas. And so these are the three primary areas that student success entails. The first one is going to be our student success case managers, our coaches. As a first year student, you may have already been in contact with your coach. This is going to be the person that works with you, setting up your placement exams, setting up your first semester classes. Um, they are primarily there for registration, for academic guidance. They have all the resources, the knowledge. If you ever have a question, and you're going to be getting a lot of information over the coming weeks and months during your first year. And so recognizing if there's something that's weird or something that really pops out as like, I don't know what this is all about. Your student success coach is going to be someone who's there to help you with that. And so always feel free to reach out to them. Now, student success coaches are constantly changing and evolving. And so recognize that your coach may change based on your major, based on your year. And so always be on the lookout for an email. On our website, we try to keep updated with who your assigned student success coach is. But in a few minutes, I'll give you that contact information if you do have a question of who you should reach out to directly. Now, a lot of you will recognize that you also will be assigned a faculty advisor. So you have a student success coach on one hand, and you have a faculty advisor on the other hand. And you may say to me, Tyler, what's the difference? And I'll tell you. Um, from your background, you're probably coming with the idea of a guidance counselor, somebody who's able to support you in all the different realms of academia. So with a student success coach, they're there for you during those beginning years, freshman year, your sophomore year. They still are there to support you junior and senior year, but recognize that your faculty advisor is going to be from your major. So if you're a biology major, for instance, your faculty advisor most likely studied in biology, had a job in biology. And so they're going to be able to help you to maneuver through internships and job placement. Whereas if I was a student success coach and I was overseeing the biology students, my major was in business. And so I'm not able to provide that major specific scope, but I am able to talk about your academic program, what classes you should be taking, the resources that we provide on campus. And so recognize that you want to work with both of them, but you'll start to work with your faculty advisor a little further into your academic career as they have more knowledge within your career or field. The next area is my area, which is the first year experience, FYE. The first year experience is all about getting you acclimated to St. Leo University. And the way that we do that here is one, through orientation like you're attending today, our welcome week. But the one that I'm involved with is SLU 101, which is our first year experience course. It's a 1 credit lab with different areas of the university serving as faculty. And so you'll get a faculty member who's going to talk to you about what is St. Leo. And we also use NPR's podcast, This I Believe, which is Edward R. Murrow. And it started off as a radio show, but now it's a podcast where we talk about what are our values and where did those values come from and how do they affect our decision making in college and also into the future to help us to be successful. It's only 1 hour a week, but you really This is an opportunity for you to connect with other classmates of different majors, of different groups around campus, and get involved. In those classes, we also will have a peer assisted learning coach or a mentor, a peer mentor. And so these are our student leaders, similar to your orientation leaders, and some of them are orientation leaders that are there that have been through the St. Leo experience to help you along the way when you do have those challenges and you don't feel comfortable reaching out to your student success coach. You can reach out to the PAL coaches or the mentors, and they're going to be happy to get you pointed in the right direction. Now, our PAL coaches also work over in the Center for Academic Vision and Excellence, which is our third section, and that is the cave, is what the students know it as. That's going to be the big area on the first floor here. Within the cave, we do, as you've probably been talking about already, we have our placement exams located here. This is also where we have our peer tutoring. And so we have tutors for all of the different areas of the university, including some embedded tutors that you may find within your classes. And so that's so that you don't have to look for them. They're already in the class all the time, able to connect with you. We also put on a success workshop, we have supplemental instruction, directed learning, and we provide those testing accommodations for those of you that have worked with our Office of Student Accessibility Services. And so there are a lot of opportunities within student success to help to support you. And so I'm going to talk about a few more of them, but if there's ever anything that you need, first floor at Kirk Hall, our front desk is going to be able to connect you. Or if you stop by the Student Success Suite, they're going to be able to connect you. Or if you pop into our offices over in the cave, we'll be able to support you. Recognize we are here to help. And so however we can help to make you successful, we really want to be able to do that. And so I know through a lot of presentations that I've been through, we usually see the last slide is the one where we get the contact information, but you may already have questions. And so I wanted to provide our contact information right off the bat. And I'll bring it back up towards the end of the presentation. But if you're unable to connect with a specific student success coach, or if they leave the position or whatever may be going on, we have a general student success line. And so you can reach out to student.success@stleo.edu, and they will be able to support you and get you to your assigned success coach. The next email that I have up there is the Center for Academic Vision and Excellence, the CAVE. And so that's going to be for those tutors, supplemental instruction, or if you just have a general question, you need writing help, or where can I go to get some support with math, reach out to the CAVE at stleo.edu, and we'll be able to get you connected to the right person or the right resource. And of course, I have my contact information. I'm tyler.sanders@stleo.edu. And so you can reach out to me. I primarily supervise SLU 101 and our PAL coaches and peer mentors. But if there's a question that you have from this presentation and you don't know who to get to, I'm certainly happy to support that as well. So let's dive into what student success and how we can support you through the next couple years here with us at St. Leo. The way that I always think that we should do this first is by looking at the primary document, the checklist, the outline of how to be successful at St. Leo. And that document is the program evaluation. And so while you may be thinking, I'm not going to get to St. Leo until a couple months, couple weeks from the time I watch this video, maybe it's a couple days. It's always a good idea to review your program evaluation to see what you still need to do so that you can get that degree. And so I'm going to walk through you step by step of those, and of course you can come back to them later. But I think it's good to pull it out, print it out, and have an idea of what that checklist looks like. It's also going to help you to identify, why am I being registered for these courses, or why am I taking these courses? And so let me walk through step by step. How do you access it? So our first step is going to be going to my.stleo.edu. And this is where you're going to type in your credentials, whatever they may be that were provided for you, same as your St. Leo email. Once you get into eLion, or once you get to that link, you will see all of these resources. You're going to want to select eLion. If I am moving along too fast, feel free to pause me, whatever that may be. Um, Step 3, we're going to go ahead and hit academic profile. Now you'll note once you're in that academic profile area that there are a lot of options. So this is where you're going to be able to go look at your grades, check on the request of your transcripts. But the one we're going to be looking at is your program evaluation today. Once you get in there, you will have been given an active program, a major that you have already selected, and that should be listed there. If it is, you're going to go ahead and make sure that dot is hit, and you're going to click submit. Now, say you're undecided or exploring the different majors. What I love about our program is that you're able to select from this drop down box, what if I decide to study marketing? What if I decide to study psychology? And that's going to create a program evaluation just for you of what that checklist would look like. And so when I have students that are thinking about changing their major, it's good to look at what have I already taken and how will that impact where I'm going in the future. Once we press that submit button, like I said, the what if is available there if you're thinking about changing your major or you're exploring student and want to see what classes are going to be available. So once you pull up that program evaluation and you create a PDF or print it, at the beginning of it, you're going to see all of that identifying information, your name, your major, your ID, what year you're coming in, your student email. Like I talked about, you're going to have a student success coach, which is reaching out to you already, communicating with you already, and you're going to have a faculty advisor who may not do reach out until a few semesters into your, but their name and email is always going to be on your program evaluation. And so if it does change, it will change on your program evaluation. So that's a good place to always be willing to go check out your program eval for that advisor name and email if you need to connect with them. And then as you look down, you'll start to see the curriculum. And so there's 4 primary areas of the curriculum: the university campus requirements, university explorations or general education courses, our major courses, and our elective. First, our campus required courses. Like I talked about, SLU 101 is your first year experience course. It's 1 credit hour. SLU 125 is a 3 credit course that goes into the areas of wellness and dives into those different dimensions of wellness. And when we think about wellness, of course, we think about the spokes of a wheel. And if we're not doing well with one of those spokes, we can't function well as a wheel. And so that's what that class really takes a look at. Now, recognize that there are some exceptions on your program evaluation. And so if you've already completed some of these courses, you may see that they're completed, or if you're exempt from these courses due to dual enrollment classes, AP, et cetera, transfer students, then they may not appear. And so recognize that that is a potential. And you can reach out to your student success coach if you have questions about that. The next one's going to be those foundational courses. And so depending on your background, you may have academic writing, mathematics, and COM 140, which is our computer skills class. Depending on your major, you're going to have different math. And so if you have a friend who's a biology student, you have a friend who's a psychology student, they will have different math requirements. And so that's not to say that you've been placed into different math. It just means that your major has a requirement that is different. And so depending on your major, you can always, of course, reach out to your student success coach if you have questions. Next on that list, if we keep going down, is going to be our university explorations. These are our general education classes that are vital to the student experience. One, it helps you to explore other areas of study, but it's also focused on critical thinking, decision making, communication, creativity, and really exploring what um, these different areas look like and how they impact us. The specific areas, and you're going to take classes within each of them, is the human adventure, the human mosaic, science in a changing world, the creative life, and reflective and spiritual life. You'll take a little bit of these courses over the first couple years and semesters, um, in addition to your other required courses. When you're thinking about your university exploration courses, of course, we want to think about things that interest you. And so if you're not interested in psychology, then maybe you want to take a sociology class. If you're not interested in world religions, then maybe you take the Christian spiritual vision class. And so recognize there are options, and I like to think of it as a menu of different classes that you're going to take in each of those areas. But the course descriptions can be found online. You can reach out to your student success coach, and during your meetings with your student success coach, you can discuss those different options. They'll, of course, be able to provide feedback from past students and help you to make that selection. The next thing you're going to find on there is going to be those required major courses. And so it is literally a checklist of courses that are required for a degree. There may be a GPA requirement listed on there as well, so that you know what that minimum GPA is, not only for your total degree at St. Leo, but some of our majors have GPA requirements within those degree classes. And so recognize and look at that as you may, and you'll work through those classes. That's the great thing about your evaluation is you are literally getting a checklist of classes. And if you wanted to start looking at the next 4 years and what classes you want to take over the next 4 years, you could do that by working through your evaluation. Another requirement here at St. Leo is that our students have 39 upper division credit hours. And so when you're looking at those major classes, you may see a majority of them are upper level. And so that benefits our students is that you already have a degree that has 300 or 400 level. But there are a few that will not have those required. And so you're going to want to take some electives um, that are in the 300 and 400 level. Recognize that the final requirement that you'll see down there is electives. You're required to have 120 credit hours before you leave St. Leo. And so when you do the math of those campus requirements, the major requirements, and the university explorations, you may only be at 96. We need to get you to 120. And so those additional credits come from electives. Some of our students will pick up minors, and that's how they'll get their electives. Some students will just explore the different classes that we have available. During my time at St. Leo, we've provided Star Wars classes, comics classes, ceramics, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter. And you may giggle. You may be like, well, what do those classes entail? Well, I'm going to tell you, it depends on which department is teaching them. And so when you see those, as you get deeper into creating schedules for yourself, you'll see the master roster. And if Game of Thrones is being taught by the history department, it's probably going to be based more on what in connection to history is Game of Thrones portrayed. If the theater department is teaching a Game of Thrones class, they're going to talk about how the actors were a part of the series and how their performance impacts how the scene dynamics play out. And so recognize that we could teach a Game of Thrones class, we could teach a Harry Potter class, and all these different areas, but it's really going to be different depending on who is hosting that class. So those are the requirements for graduation. That is your checklist. So what is the next steps? When we think about fall registration, you're going to be working with your student success coach. So First semester, you'll work with a student success coach. If you're a transfer student, you may be working with your faculty advisor already to get registered for those classes. You will want to set up a meeting with them, and you can go to our student success website to get those, and they'll also send you an email to invite you to the meeting. The way that you're taking part in this is, for the most part, you're going to be taking English, you're going to be taking math, you're going to have some classes that are required within your major, but you're also going to have those university exploration classes that I talked about earlier. And so that is how you get to start to pick off of the menu of what you wanted. And you can also discuss times and days that you're interested in these classes with your student success coach. Note, the earlier that you do registration in any given semester, the more likely you are going to get those time and dates that you prefer. Once you reach 60 credit hours, you will be able to register yourself, but at this time you would be registered with the or faculty advisor. Now, in any given semester, fall or spring, 12 credit hours is considered full time, but we recommend 15 to 16 or 17 credit hours, depending on your major, to be at what I call the safety level. That is, if there is a class we're struggling with and we need to get out of, we're able to drop that class or withdraw from that class and still be full time and maintain that full time status when it comes to scholarships, housing, or other things that may be impacted by that status. If you've already met with your student success coach and you've already started to plan for registration and you just want to access your class schedule, go back to eLion. Like I talked about at the beginning, hit that academic profile and you should find an area that says class schedule, my class schedule. Sometimes this does not work on cellular devices, so you may want to pull out your laptop. Sometimes it does work, so I just like to make note of that. Your schedule may look like it's missing, but it's not missing if you try on a different device. Once you pop into my class schedule and you see the term, you will see the list of classes on there. You will see the room that the class is in, the days that the class meets, the times, and also the location. So if that, what building is that class in, and also the credit hours and our start dates within there. There are some codes that may pop up that are confusing, and I know that they still confuse me from time to time. The big one, of course, is what is the R? That is Thursday. When you see MWF, those are our Monday, Wednesday, and Friday classes, and the TR are our Tuesday and Thursday classes. Over here, we also have our campus building codes. And so if you want to take a screenshot or take a picture of those, that may help you out in the future. Now, I know it's a long time out, but like I talked about earlier, while we're in eLion, another place that you want to look at is your grades. And so when you go into eLion, you click on grades, and you're going to be able to pull up the grades for any given semester. You will select the semester, and the grades will be there. So that is your program evaluation, some of the next steps that you'll be taking to get registered for your first semester at St. Leo University. But if you haven't gotten to those steps, I'd like to point out one of the first steps on your admitted student checklist is going to be to complete the placement exams. Now, we have a couple options this year of how to complete those exams. One, by deciding not to take the placement exams. If you decide to not take the placement exams, of course, reach out to your student success coach and let them know that you'd like to opt out. If you'd like to opt out of the placement exams, you'll be placed in English 110. And in our math classes, it'll depend on your major, which math class you'll be put into, but it would be that first level of math. If you've completed ACT or SAT, you have the option to use those scores to be placed into one of the math and English courses, and there's how those scores line up. And then finally, the last option, of course, is to use your credits from advanced placement, dual enrollment, IB, or Cambridge. And so just let your student success coach know. If you have any of these and you don't communicate with your student success coach, there's no way that they know that you've completed them. And so the first thing that I would do is make sure you reach out to them to let them know that you're going to do that. If you decided to take the placement exams, of course, you can visit our CAVE website. Um, you can also reach out. Uh, sorry, you can Google St. Leo University placement exams and you'll get the link to our website. And that is where you'll be able to sign up for on-campus placement exams through the beginning of August. And also, you'll be able to do online exams through ProctorU. And so that you can be done at the comfort of your home on your own personal device. The placement exams does come in 4 parts, 2 for English and 2 for math. They take about 2 hours-ish is what we tell students. But like I've said, with registration, the earlier you complete those placement exams, the better. And so whether you are deciding not to take the placement exams, using your ACT, SAT scores, using any of those different credits, or taking the placement exams, the sooner you do it, the better when it comes to registering for classes. Outside of those steps, the next steps, it's on you now. As a St. Leo student, you take over the responsibility of being successful. And so while the Student Success Office is here to support you in all the different ways we've talked about, recognize that it's all about you. You take this on yourself. And so one of the first things you can do is make sure you show up to that first week of class. Our students that show up to the first day of class are the most successful. Do recognize that if you don't show up to that first day or first week, there is a possibility you'll be dropped from the course as a no-show. So it is important that you show up to those courses. Also, communicate with your faculty member if you are unable to show up to that class or you are adding or dropping classes. Start working to think about what that 4-year plan is. We've talked about your evaluation, we've talked about 4-year plans. And so now think about what classes you want to take, going through that menu and thinking about what you want. Schedule a follow appointment with your student success coach, if you're a transfer student, with your faculty advisor, so that you can go ahead and get started on that registration. Their information is available online, and I'll pull up that contact information if you have questions as well. One of the big tips that I like to leave you with, of course, is get involved. Get involved, whatever that may be. I always tell students, find 3 or 4 clubs that you think you might be interested in. Go to their first meetings and pick that 1 or 2 that you really love to stick it out. But you got to get involved so that you start to create that St. Leo community. And finally, ask for help if you need it. There are for sure going to be points in the semester where something's weird. I don't know what to do here. Come to the student success offices, visit the suite, visit the cave, and we are going to help to get you connected with the right resources to be successful. It's all on you. And so if something's going on, we cannot read minds. As much as we'd love to be able to read your minds and help you out and be proactive, it is on you. And so support yourself by getting that help that you need and reaching out to those resources as you need. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out. We are here all summer. Like we talked about earlier, the student success coaches. If you don't have a specific contact information, reach out to student.success@stleo.edu. If you have questions about the cave and our resources, you can reach out to cave@stleo.edu. And if you want to just reach out to me to talk about Disney or the first year experience course, of course, you can reach out to tyler.sanders@stleo.edu and I can get you on the right track to help you be successful this semester. You'll notice on here I have one last note, and that is the last day to add and drop classes is Tuesday, September 7th for this fall semester. Tuesday, September 7th. So if you go to a class or you are thinking about over the summer, you know what, I don't know if I want to take that. That's a good one. Giants of the Arts class. I think I'd rather take the theater class for sure. Reach out to the student success coaches so that they can make sure that we make that change for you or provide you those options that are available to you. And you have until Tuesday, September 7th, so after that first week of classes. That is all the information that I have for you today. Of course, we'll provide more information for you throughout the summer. Your student success coaches will be reaching out to you. We'll be connecting with you here in the cave through placement exams, and we'll see you at orientation and welcome week. We'll put on several different events to help you get that semester started. I'm excited to meet all of you here in the fall, just in a couple weeks, couple days, whatever that may be when you're watching the video. We're glad to have you as a part of our pride, and we're so excited to welcome you back to campus. I'm Tyler Sanders from the Student Success Office. Feel free to stop in when you get here. Have a great one, and we'll see you soon.